What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a subscriber story that was sent in to me about a cousin that they have that, is just a little bit insane. And as somebody that can relate to a crazy spoiled cousin, I decided that it was important to tell this story, especially because it ends up in this kid thinking he's literally a god. We all got some weird relatives for sure, but this definitely took it to the next level. But before we get into it, be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam, you're going to get hit by this cousin dude next time he's doing his god powers, and you don't want that, so I would press the like button. Alright, so just to set the scene for y'all, it starts with this guy and his cousin named Eric. And Eric was a kid who was extremely spoiled by his parents, so spoiled that like he had never mowed a lawn in his life. His fingers didn't even have wrinkles because he barely had to move them. He didn't own a car. His mom was literally his chauffeur. Like, she had a hat and everything and, like, loved the fact that she would drive him anywhere at any request. Was also the type of guy to, like, remind the teacher about his homework. And on top of just being like an insanely spoiled person, it didn't help that his mom was a Karen. So, anytime there was any issues or whatever, she stepped in and went over the top to like fix it. And that was really the reason he was such a mess. Being spoiled is already bad enough, but when you have a mom that like basically makes everybody back down to you and walk all over, or like, let you walk all over them. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You guys know what I mean. It tends to turn you into a little bit of a monster. Like, okay, one of the reasons that this kid was so spoiled is he thought that he was super smart, but the reality was he was pretty dumb, and anytime the teachers would give him low grades, he would get really upset about it, and his mom would go down to the school and like raise hell and basically force the teachers to, maybe give him a special curve for hard work or, something like that. But she wouldn't tell him that she was doing this. He was just getting straight A's in all these really hard classes that his friends were having a hard time with. So he was super confident to, say stuff out loud and jump out and chase anything. And bless his heart, it wasn't really his fault that he wasn't somebody that should have never doubted anything he thought, I don't think there's a single person on the planet that should never doubt anything that they think. I think everybody's had a thought and then been like, that was pretty stupid. Everyone. But this dude, Eric, literally thought that he was God's gift to Earth, God put him here. He was like, "Ayo, what's up? This is Eric. He's the best thing ever." And that's what ended up leading to this whole situation now. You see, Eric was finally out of school. He was an adult now. He had turned 18, and obviously, because he was super, super smart, I'm doing air quotes here, he was doing his best to get rich as fast as humanly possible, and I'm not gonna knock anybody for hustling. Obviously, I think everybody wants to have like a big house and some nice cars. And I don't want to knock the hustle, and the reason this isn't about knocking his hustle is because he didn't really have any real hustle in him. He had never had a job before. He didn't know how working really worked because his mom would just give him money. So his hustling made no sense. He was always having just like really stupid business ideas and trying to act like a successful hotshot while bumping from like pyramid scheme to pyramid scheme, talking about how it's the next big thing. And it all came to a head at the 4th of July barbecue that these people had last year. Now, I would always say that it's probably great to go nuts at these things, it's best to have your biggest mental breakdowns in front of a bunch of witnesses. But to defend Eric before we go further, his mom really did set him up in this one, alright? Like, she did not help the situation. So when it came to family barbecues in this family, Eric usually wouldn't come. Like, he didn't really like the rest of the family. He thought he was better than everybody else there, and he didn't like eating with the poor people, He like would call his cousins idiot, stupid, poor, all that stuff. And they weren't his biggest fans either. Because he was always trying to boss them around. He was so used to his mom, like, bending over backwards to do literally anything for him that anytime he asked for anything and anyone was like, "No, I don't want to go quit this game of hide and seek to go get you a Coca-Cola," it was like World War III. Was always insulting people, so his relatives weren't necessarily a big fan of him, and he didn't like them either, so he didn't come to the family barbecues a lot. So when they heard that he was coming to this 4th of July barbecue, they figured that at this point, like, he needed something, or he had something to flex on them about how much better he was. Like, those were usually the only reasons he ever came around. And honestly, at the time, they were thinking it was going to be another one of his pyramid schemes because he had been, like, wrapped up in a couple of those. But compared to what actually happened, they would be wishing for a pyramid scheme pitch. So everybody's sitting there. The family that's coming with Eric is the last people to arrive, and the door opens, and his mom and dad walk in, and behind them comes a guy standing in a loincloth, like a straight-up Tarzan loincloth. And Eric is just standing there in a loincloth. Nothing else, no no other clothing, not anything in his hand, no bag, just wearing a loincloth. And he walks in completely normal. Like, he doesn't walk in, like anything's inconspicuous. He's not smiling. He's not doing anything like, yes, I'm wearing a loincloth, I can explain. He's just acting like nothing is wrong. And everybody obviously is turning their attention and just kind of staring at this because it's not every day that you see your cousin walk into a family reunion with a loincloth on. It's definitely just not something I would expect at the barbecue, the meat's supposed to be on the grill. In the party that was like super loud a second ago, record scratch, without the record scratch, just goes dead silent and is just kind of like, what the hell? And he kind of just walks up to everybody and sits down on the couch and says nothing. He doesn't acknowledge anything about how weird this situation is at all. And then obviously everybody's staring at him and it gets like this awkward silence for a second. And then he gets up, walks to the middle of the living room and does like a little pirouette 360 thing. Imagine doing a little spin in Rocket League, like a little spin. And then he like strikes a pose, you know how in like Power Rangers when they're summoning their Megazord, they have to do like the wah! He does like one of those after his little 360 and like poses in his loincloth. And immediately someone's like, all right, dude, what's up with the loincloth? They think this is a joke at this point because he's trying to be funny or whatever. They're like, all right, man, what's up with the loincloth? And when they ask him what's going on with the loincloth, he closes his eyes and he starts like quietly humming to himself, and he slowly starts going up on one foot while he's humming, then he just stops, slowly lowers his foot back down and like opens his eyes and then says, I am God, like just out of nowhere, bro. Mad out of pocket. Homie was just doing the one-footed, you put your right hand in, the hokey pokey. That's what I was looking for. And now he's apparently saying that he is God, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, ruler of the universe wears a loincloth to the 4th of July barbecue. So at that point, everybody just starts like cracking up, bro. Nobody can manage to hold back the laughter. I'm sorry, dude. If somebody does like a 360 little dance number, a TikTok dance, and then tries to tell me that they're Jesus, like I'm gonna giggle. Like I can't help myself. Period. No matter what you're wearing. It also doesn't help if it's your cousin and they're in a loincloth, bro. Like this just adds to the situation of just what is going on, man. Like, hey, what's up? Hey, I'm Eric. And everybody just has a massive fit of the giggles because how could they not? I'm sorry. There is literally no way on the planet that your family would not be laughing at you in this situation. And, one person's giggling, then people are laughing at people laughing, and then someone like kind of does a reenactment. It just keeps going. They still think it's a joke at this point. They've been laughing for about a minute, and that's when the really awkward part suddenly sets in. Everyone in the room is cracking up hysterically, thinking this is the funniest thing ever, except for Erik, bro. Erik does not even have a smile on his face, dude. This guy looks like he just got told that, he's gonna have to get a prostate exam at the age of 18. He is upset. He is not excited in any way, shape, or form. If anything, he looks furious, dude. He looks like FaZe Jarvis before he knocked out that dude at the boxing match, just angry. And then his face like scowls into, I'm assuming in his head he thought it was like a very angry looking face, but it was more of like a constipated turtle, just like, And everybody is still kind of giggling, but it quiets down because they can tell that he's kind of pissed off. And his mom gets up behind him and like puts his hand on his shoulders and tells him like, go ahead, honey, they'll see soon enough. It's okay. And Erik is like, you doubt me, but I really am God, and starts talking about how he found out the other day that he has all of these superpowers. And he starts like listing off his superpowers and basically just does something like this. I have laser eyes, I have Wolverine claws, I have super strength, I am a super genius, I can do anything, I can control the magic of multiple realms. He basically just like names every Avenger and then their superpower and is like, ayo, I have all of them. Homie just like rolled all of them into one fruit roll-up, and instead of just doing it the way you're supposed to, crumbled it into a fruit roll-up ball and just shoved it into his mouth. All of the superpowers at once, just mega OP. And obviously, when you say something like that to your family members that thought this was a joke and like apparently you're now serious and your mom's supporting you, the first thing that they're going to ask is like, okay, well, can you prove it? If you really have every superpower known to man, can you just kind of like do the thing where you show me that you have every superpower known to man? Which I don't think is unreasonable. I feel like that's a pretty fair request. If somebody came to me and was like, hey, I could fly, the first thing I would go is like, okay, well, can I see you fly? And if they were like, actually, no, you can't, then something's weird, bro. If I could fly, I'd be showing basically anybody that wanted to watch. The gameplay in the next video would just be me flying around like Superman. I wouldn't be keeping it a secret. If I had Wolverine claws, I would open a sushi restaurant. Do you understand? I live in Las Vegas. The tourists would be lined up outside the door. I'd be using this to make bands. So the subscriber that sends this in is the person who speaks up and is kind of like, okay, well, can you prove it? Can you show us something? and he kind of gets shifty. His constipated face contorts into like a shy one, and he's like, I don't know if he can, I don't know if I can. So you can wear a loincloth, do a dance number, claim to be God, tell everyone you have the superpowers, but you can't show them. Like, you can't show me the superpower? You're literally showing everything else. You are in a loincloth in front of your family on the 4th of July, bro. There is no more secrets. And then everybody kind of starts backing him up like, all right, well, I'm not gonna believe you unless you show me that you have superpowers. Like, there's no way I'm just gonna believe you. And he says, fine, okay, I can show everyone, but like, we all need to go outside. And he says like, all need to go outside, as if it would be some massive chore. And I think, I'm not there, but me and the cousin dude agreed that, like, he probably thought that the older people wouldn't want to get up, or, like, people really didn't care that much and wouldn't want to move and go, like, outside and all together and watch him, perform his superpowers. But obviously, in that situation, everybody is like, okay, yeah, let's go, and starts getting up, bro. Even their grandpa, which has trouble walking, is like, get me my cane. They all are like, yes, no matter what happens, all I know is that the 4th of July is complete with this. I don't really need fireworks, don't get me wrong, they're a good bonus, but if I get to see my cousin try to like show me he has superpowers, that's still a massive W in my book. So everybody goes outside, and he kind of like, says that he'll do it when they get out there. And they go outside and they kind of group around him. So he's kind of standing in the middle of everybody, and there's a U. Like, there's nothing behind him. There's the rest of the backyard, but the family's kind of like around him on a U in the patio, so he's in the middle. Imagine a street performance. Like, the dudes that do the human statue things. Like, that's kind of the vibe that it was looking like. And now that there's a crowd around him, the show starts, a little beautiful show on the 4th of July. And in front of everybody, he just starts waving his hands around frantically, bro. Like, imagine, in the cartoons when somebody starts getting chased by bees and they're just swinging around their hands, and it's like, that's probably just gonna make him angrier. And that's basically what he's doing, just swinging around his arms. And after, like, a couple seconds of swinging around his arms, he just starts, mama. And after 30 seconds of waving his arms, dude, I don't know if he's trying to signal a plane to land. I don't know if he was trying to, wave down some help. If there was like a riptide, he was trying to signal to the lifeguard. Who knows? All I know is that after 30 seconds, his eyes just swing open and he just starts like shaking, but not like a seizure, like someone being electrocuted, like, but once again, not someone really being electrocuted, somebody that had like watched a cartoon of someone being electrocuted and went, that's what it's actually like, and then just ran with it. And then he sprints over to the crowd and like lifts his arm above his head as high as he can and slams it down. And he slams it down with a pretty good grip to it, and he just slaps and grabs onto his grandpa's bald head and just goes whap, like the smack is just heard through the crowd, bro. And the grandpa goes, ow, because obviously he just got smacked by the wrath of his grandson Eric in a loincloth for no reason on his bald head. He doesn't know what's going on, and everybody kind of is like doesn't really know what's going on, and it goes silent, and his hand is still on his head, and no one's moving. It's just like silent. It's really, really awkward because his hand is still on his head. I don't know, man. Like, imagine being in this situation. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. On the screen right now is a PlayStation gift card. I actually give away a gift card in every single video here on this channel as a way to just say thank you to everyone who's subscribed with those notifications on. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you never miss another video. It means a lot, and if you already do, thank you. I really appreciate it for helping out the channel, and yeah, I'll shut up and get back to the video. Thanks. And finally, out of the silence, his grandpa goes, why did you smack my head? A little incredulous, but still wanting to know why his grandson had slapped him across his head. A 5-star was supposed to be on the back, nay, the forehead. And Eric goes, don't you feel that, Grandpa? And he's like, what? All I feel is where you smacked my head. Like, I feel your hand. What am I supposed to feel? And he kind of starts shaking, and he's like, the power, my power going through your veins. And his grandpa, just as brutal as possible, is like, no, I don't, and like moves his hand off of his head, and when he does that, everybody starts laughing because obviously he thought his grandpa was going to be like, yeah, I feel it. No, dude, you can't actually give people powers. You don't have any powers. All you've been doing is weird interpretive dance moves that's making everyone uncomfortable. And obviously, how are you not going to laugh at someone that just embarrasses themselves that bad? It's like one of the worst possible outcomes there could possibly be in this situation. But, Eric is not having any of the haters. He starts getting angry at everybody and is like, I don't know why you guys think that, like, this isn't real. Obviously, it's real. Why would I commit to wearing this loincloth and learning all these moves if it wasn't real? That's still a great question. I'll tell you what, we get to the end of the video, we still don't really know the answer to that one. And finally, he's like, I'm going to try it again. Can I try it again? Grandpa just doesn't want to support me. Let me try it again. And obviously, everybody's on board with letting him do it again. They're not really sure what they just witnessed. All they know is that it was entertaining, and they definitely want to see it again. And he starts saying that, like, the next one is the chosen one. He was testing them to see if they would want to see another show, because if he makes them think that he's not actually got the ability to do it, and then he actually does, it, like, makes them believe it more. I don't know, man. He had some circular reasoning as to why his grandpa didn't feel the power, but the next one was definitely gonna work. So everyone's like, okay, go for it. And he starts doing, the whole shaking, waving his arms in the air. And this time, when he does the whole Caesar head smack thing, he walks up to his mom, who, has babied him his entire life, and he smacks her head. Except instead of yelling ow or like what's going on, she doesn't really react. If anything, she kind of like leans into it a little bit, but nobody really thinks that's what they see at the time. And she's just acting like this is really normal. Like, oh, nothing to see here, guys. Everything's fine, just keep it moving. But this is when things really get off the rails. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Somehow the dude wearing a loincloth in the backyard right now is not the craziest part. His mom just starts playing along with him, like acting like this is totally normal and is like just going with it. She goes, oh my God, I feel it. I feel the power. Oh, I feel it. I feel it. And they both stand up and they start like making wave noises with their mouth, like whoosh, whoosh. And they run like 10 feet apart in the yard and then just start kind of, whooshing at each other. And then Erik just goes like, I have to defeat the demon within you to secure your power. And they start like having a force battle, bro, just yelling and stuff. But each time they're like making wave noises and like hand gesturing at each other, trying to have a force battle, dude. The family barbecue has become an exorcism on the 4th of July. They're like throwing energy at each other, bro. It's Dragon Ball. You know when they ha with like the... It's basically that, but there's two people in the backyard. One's an elderly middle-aged Karen and one's your cousin in a loincloth just whoosh ka like it's just the most embarrassing cringe you could possibly imagine, dude. And honestly, as it's going on, everybody that's there, the entire family, isn't even laughing because of just like how confused everyone is. Nobody knows what's going on. And to make it worse, like her husband, his dad, like had slinked out at this point. He had just gotten up and left. Like he wanted nothing to do with this. He's like, my wife and my kid are so embarrassing. And when even your dad is like, I'm out now, and does the peace sign, he's either going to get milk or, he's really embarrassed to you. And after like 5 minutes of them just frantically running around the backyard, it finally ends when he like runs up to her and goes like psha and like pulls energy, I'm doing, and air quotes, out of her chest, puts it on the ground, and then like jumps on it and punches the grass so hard that the dirt is like flying everywhere. And then, they both get up and they're like, and walk over to the couches and like slump down on the patio, where these outdoor couches are, and just start chugging water. They're both acting like they fought Godzilla, that was the most intense battle of their life. And as for everybody that's watching, all the spectators, nobody knows what's going on, dude. Just pure confusion amongst everyone. Everyone is just speechless, like it's literally silent. So obviously this isn't like, the hype and excitement that Erik expected. So he's just kind of sitting there like waiting, staring at everybody, trying to make eye contact with people to get them to comment on it, and they're just kind of avoiding it. But finally, the hero the world needed decided to step up. The grandpa, out of the silence, just goes, what the hell was that? And obviously, once that gets said, everybody just loses it again. We know this family does not like to be laughed at, bro. Her and her son were gonna show us that they actually had the magic power, and all the haters, everyone was gonna be rejecting it. And when Grandpa says that, it's over for him, dude. Everybody's like, come on, are you serious? What was that? And I don't know what they expected, dude. You can't just have like a fake energy force fight in front of like your family with your mom telling me that you're trying to kill her demons and expect me not to giggle at it a little bit, And Erik starts screaming, and then like all of a sudden his screams are being backed up by somebody, and at that point his mom has joined in, yelling at everyone for not supporting him. And at that point, dude, like I don't know what they expected them to say. How are you even supposed to support that? Like, oh yeah, I support you wearing loincloths and fighting demons, it's really gonna work out. Like, is there a stadium or something for that? How do you even, how do you want me to support them? Like how? Either way, they're screaming, they're yelling all mad. You guys never support anything. It's like, dude, I don't really know what they want you to do. Like, even then, let's say I believed the loincloth demon slaying. How is this gonna be a job? Like, who's gonna pay for this? Who is the clientele? I don't understand. And when they ask these very obvious questions, them both very defensively are like, isn't it obvious? This is a gold mine. We're sitting on a gold mine. It's going to be so easy to make money. And they're like, all right, well, if it's going to be so easy to make money, please explain to us how this is so genius. And they start explaining that obviously he just has to do this demonstration in front of large crowds, and people will be willing to pay him to show him how to use their powers. Yeah, that's right. You know, that battle they had just witnessed was their business plan, bro. That was their marketing. Hey, look, we're gonna do this show in front of people, and we're gonna make millions of dollars selling this program where you're gonna turn into a Jedi Knight. What do you think? Obviously, the family wasn't necessarily on board with that one. You know, I'm not gonna invest my money in magic. Airbending sadly isn't real. Trust me, I wish it was, but you're just pretending to be the Avatar, bro. Trust me, I really wish being an airbender could be a job. And then he says that, like, everybody, you know, that's not here is fake and doesn't support him and being a freak. Keep in mind, he's the one who just had, like, a forced fight with his mom in a loincloth and is now calling everyone else in the house a freak. Nothing against Tarzan, you know, you get what I'm saying. Like, hey, nothing wrong with the loincloth in certain situations, but if you just decide to pull up to that in a barbecue for no reason, yeah, that's kind of weird. And him and his mother at that point realize that the dad is gone, and they dip pretty quick too. Like, at that point, they're like, oh, we gotta go. They get in the car and they leave pretty quick, and everybody is just kind of like, what is going on? Talking crap instantly. And the rest of the night was full of jokes, like making fun of it. But when the subscriber got home that night, they checked their Instagram, and he had like posted that he was gonna start performing these shows and doing power lessons for his friends on his Instagram. So, you know, it's a business. Maybe it'll take off. We'll all be getting laughed at while he's on Oprah making millions. Maybe he'll help out Ellen, but I'm pretty confident he's not going anywhere. You know, I don't think the Avengers necessarily need someone that OP. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a quick second to press that like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. Actually, if you made it this far, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and commenting what your favorite superpower would be, just so like I know how many people got to the end, I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, other than that, you can check out the podcast down below. It's called the Scuffed Cast. I'll put a link to that. It'll come back one day. There's also a link to the merch store. You guys can go ahead and check that out. Obviously, you know, I'm pretty biased, but it's sick and you should definitely get it. And yeah, other than that, use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout for a discount. Helps me out, helps you out. We're both winners, so everybody's happy. And yeah, other than that, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. I'm gonna go learn how to use the Force now, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.